Okay, so tell me about school. Where'd you go to school?
Where did I go to school? My first 2 years I went to Washington Grade School, which was in North Phoenix on Glendale Avenue. Then I went to Roosevelt School from the 3rd grade to the 8th. Graduated in 1934. Went to Phoenix Union High School. Graduated in 1938. Went to work at the telephone company right after I graduated. I got a job. My main ambition was to own my own car.
And what kind of car did you want?
At that point, I didn't care, but the first car I had was a Model A Ford.
Mm-hmm.
And then I traded that in for I can't remember what year it was, but it was a little Chevy Coupe. It was real cute. And I had that when we got married, when Bill and I got married. And I didn't tell you about the first time I ever met my own people. I was 10 years old, and my oldest sister at that time was working for a Bank of America in Los Angeles, and she was coming through on the train to go to Liberal, Kansas to visit we were going to have a big family reunion. And so she contacted my mother and dad and said she'd be coming through on the train, and could I go with her? And my mother said, yes, it'd be wonderful. So she and my Aunt Leona got busy and made me all this wardrobe of clothes, beautiful clothes. And she came, and my folks, we went to the train to meet her, and she spent the night. Then I got on the train with her, and we went to Liberal, Kansas. And I was gone for 2 weeks, and I was so homesick. But I got to meet all of my own people. Got to meet my dad, my sisters, my half-brothers, who was Charlie, Jim, and John. Because my dad...
so when he remarried?
Yeah, when he remarried, then he and this woman, this Pearl, had these 3 boys. And
you were 10?
10 years old. And I got
So how was that, meeting all of them?
Well, it was, it was kind of... I remember it was great, but it was like I couldn't wait to get back home, because I didn't know hardly anybody, but everybody was wonderful to me, and but they couldn't curl my hair like my mother did, just like my mother did. But it was just those things, and but I was glad to meet. From then on, I always had contact with my dad and my sisters. And later on, I got, more acquainted with my half-brothers because, of course, after I was married and everything, we lived over there, I got acquainted with my half-brother because he lived in the same city, in Woodland Hills. Charlie Moore, the teacher from down there. From down at Woodland Hills Elementary.
Yeah.
So he and Nancy had 8 children, and we got to be, see each other quite often then. I got to real acquainted with Jim and, not Jim. Yeah, Jim and Debbie, but I never did see them very much. But I did see John and Betty a lot. And they lived in Redondo Beach. And I think that Jim and Debbie lived there too. But I didn't see them that much. They were kind of, I don't know.
That was the stepbrother or your sister?
Half-brothers.
Half-brothers.
Yeah.
And what about your other 3 sisters?
We always was real close and visited each other a lot. And my oldest sister ended up living in Medford, Oregon. She was in L.A. when she got married, and she married Louis Rentschler. And they had 2 children, Bob and Ann. But they moved up to Medford, Oregon when Bob and Ann were quite young. I can't remember just how old they were, but they lived there all the rest of their life. And Clara lived in L.A., and I always saw